You see, can you see? There should be no man in the hills of Penokee.
What's it feel like, Nick?
Feels like Muckwa is resting on
Let me go back. Let's stay there for a minute.
Okay.
Tell me what we got going here today.
We're heading up this ridge right next to Tyler Forks. We just found a trail that the spirits must have left for us just to make it easier for us to get through this bush. There's a lot of yellow birch around here, a lot of maples.
Big maples.
Big maples.
Let's take a look at one of these maples.
You know,
Is this a maple down here, right here?
we got smaller maples here. We got yellow birch to your left. We got maples over there. We got,
The size of the maples are nice. What do you say, 30, 40 year
I'd say,
maples? Here's the yellow birch he was pointing out. And we're headed up to the summit. We're coming up from Moore Park Road off of the Tyler Forks, straight up onto the crest, and we're going to see if we can find one of the bulk sampling sites. You want to let the sorcerer by you if you can. Sorcerer, well, if you wait a little bit, you're almost on the trail here. John, is that you laughing? That is me. I mean, giggling. That wasn't a full-fledged laugh. Let's hear a full-fledged giggle. There, that's better.
there you go, bro.
Yeah, you bring the donuts along? Here's what we're talking about. We're on the side of the hill, and I don't know if you can see it. We're going to try to get close up. I'll walk right over to it. I don't think I'll fall in because it's here, but look at this.
Paul, it's been 30 below for the past 3 weeks, and this is open water. And they're going to be drilling up here and leaving shit behind?
That's what we're saying. It doesn't take long to run across water on the hillside, and that's what we got here.
Somebody making baskets out here?
Are you looking for fuchsia colored trees?
I want a pretty few fuchsia colored trees.
I don't know if you know that. See that right there? This tree's marked to be cut, but it's marked to be saved by an Indian person, probably Ojibwe. And who knows, this may have been the basket that went to Odavero's, Grandma Odavero, as a gift. We don't know, but it says that someone's been up here harvesting products, which is part of, we've been trying to tell people and let them know that up here in the Penokees, there's so many resources that are available. Now, you may see this in a birch bark basket, finished product back at a harvest camp at Odavero's. Ask and look for a basket if you haven't had a chance. But you're going to see these markings in different places. It means a indigenous artisan has been here and peeled the bark during the springtime, took it away. It could be that someone doesn't know how to make a campfire very well, and they peeled this off and chipped it all up, let it dry out. It's a good fire starter. It burns real hard. The white powder from the inside of these layers here is used as an antioxidant. And in fact, while we're looking around, birch is where you get chaga. And it's also, in some places, they harvest the sap from birch trees for medicinal reasons. They're used as antioxidants, and as one person said, anti-everything. Antioxidant, anti-Gtac, anti-mining, and all those good things. So, you know, we put a little tobacco out today for these things. These are gifts from the Creator in a lot of ways. And if we can convince people that they can market some of these things and utilize these resources in perpetuity, you know, it's the kind of thing that we're trying to convince people that mining is short-term, extractive. It's going to transport the bulk of the revenues to make, what, Chris Klein, the 17th richest billionaire in the world rather than the 18th? Yeah. And some of that prosperity will stay in Iron County. It's no doubt about it. But this community has been through a lot of cycles that are boom and bust. You can see schools closed and everything else. And so I think it's important to try to do something different. And we know that there's a majority of Iron County people who are really with us on this, according to the surveys, that they're concerned about how this thing has been pushed through and the impact of it. And we want to help give them voice over the voice of a guy that has millions of dollars. I doubt if Chris Klein, who lives in a huge estate in Florida, even knows or is concerned about what some of the local people have been talking about here. I think as long as you're here recording and seeing the number of people that are coming through here, students, including students from Spain who came here and toured it, and only later on do we find out that Bill Williams is part of a environmental criminal complaint that's going on in Spain. It's been in the courts for almost 3 years now, and the courts recently ruled that that claim can proceed against the head of this operation. That concerns us because there was violations of law in Spain, and this is the head of this operation here. And so again, there's so many red flags going up, but a small number of people try to keep the momentum going despite sulfides and sulfuric acid and asbestos and runoff and all these other things. Now I need to let you know, there are no fuchsia marked trees out here, but according to my data, we're inside the forbidden zone. We're near one of the old bulk sampling sites that's coming up, and I suspect it's only because this isn't properly marked. It's neither marked in terms of trees, nor have I seen any signs. And in order for that law to be effective, you need to have a couple signs on each 40 acre, and you need to have it marked. And it's not marked up here. Maybe they're trying to cut corners, which they do an awful lot of already. Well, we can hire a guy to.
That's my guess.
We can hire someone to mark all the trees on the north side where the help camp is to make sure they know where the thing is. But they haven't been on this end. And as you know, we just came through this snow. Breaking snow is not easy. And so maybe the guy just got tired and hasn't done it yet. We're at the old Minehead site here. If you come over here and take a look, there's a deep trench over here that went into the side of the mountain. You can see the trench. You can see a slag pile on the other side. Maybe it looks like the woods, and that's what it is. It's got a lot of pine. If you notice the difference between the maple and everything and the pine forest in here is the difference between exposed and broken open areas. Actually, on the top here, you can see another ridge. There's another open pit or two on there. So there was a lot of people who mined this area in 1890, or yeah, about 1890, I believe, was the original operation. They built the railroad track from the siding on 77 that's now claimed and marked by Gtac down on 77. That railroad spur line comes all the way up and comes around here. We're going to see a little bit of it. We're on our way back, by the way, down to Moore Park Road from here, so it's downhill. You can breathe easy. But what they did is for about a year, this operated before the mining company went broke. And there was actually some 240 mining companies that formed between about 1860 and 1910. 240 mining companies. I believe all of them went broke at one time or the other. And the moral of the story is that there wasn't a mining company official that lost any money. They would go to New York and Chicago and raise the equivalent in today's dollars of millions of dollars. And say 4 of us formed a mining company, went up here, you get some fool's gold, and you go to Chicago and say there's riches, you know, there's a golden goose laying golden eggs in the Penokees. You convince a lot of people to invest equity in it, and say in today's value we raise $4 million. We come up here and we spend $2 million putting in infrastructure in here, payroll for a year. We have a huge operation here, a huge outlay of revenues in terms of running a railroad track up here and all the other stuff here in 1890s. And they go broke within a year, and they dissolve the company, and all the investors lose their money. What you find out that the investors spent $2 million investing, and the other 4 people each got $500,000 and walked away real rich and owned condominiums and big estates in Florida. And it's the people, the stockholders, that were left with the baggage of having lost their money. So I think by the turn of the century, there was only about a dozen mining companies left after something like 240. If I got the number right, people can check the history books. There's been a lot of them, because there is not hardly any place up here that you can't find a mineral stake, holes in the ground, quarries, trenches, and all kinds of other things. People came up here thinking they were going to become rich 100 years ago, and they're doing it again. Again, if you look off to our left, you see trenches down here. And I said there was a backside, there was a trench. You can see some of the birch trees that have been peeled by artisans. If you look up here, this is actually a fill site up in here. And over on our right is a fill site, and actually there's a railroad bed right over to our right side. This is the end of the railroad track bed that you see on maps. Make a statement, John, about something we don't know.
I just don't know. I don't know how they're going to haul rocks out of this on a road like this. I don't understand it. How can they get a truck up here?
Nick?
It's a mystery.
Yeah, this is just a PR company that has to be up in the hills. I don't see any actual physical possibility that they can haul stone out of here. How could you support a truck out here on this kind of roadbed? This is some kind of Wizard of Oz kind of operation. That's how I see it. They just need to be in the hills to show that they're doing something because they got investors. This is a dying company. This ain't no real operation. This isn't even a mining company, I don't think. That's how I see it.
There should be no man in the hills of Penokee.